Goddamn, Joe Chris.
Jimmy's World, Jimmy's World.
Goddamn, Joe Chris.
Marky Malice in the sound, man. Jimmy's World, Jimmy's World.
Goddamn, Joe Chris.
Marky Malice in the sound,
Welcome
man.
to Jimmy's World, come on in, you could go invite some friends. Pour up on some juice and jam, whiskey or tequila, man. Here the party never stops, baby make the booty pop. We be going to the morning, Jimmy's World will never stop. Catch us wildin' out, sitting sideways in the parking lot. We be going straight to the top, tuning you can watch. Interview with many friends, put you on the new events. Come and be a citizen of Jimmy's World, welcome
Let
in.
me welcome you in, I got a story to tell. By 3 bad homies that I know so well. Yo, we all came from the bottom, can't nobody stop 'em. Man, we speaking to the world, homie, finally we got 'em. We keeping it universal, riding up to the top. And we speaking on the truth, whether you like it or not. Yo, we the realest it gets, ain't no one holding us back. Jimmy's World, Joe Chris, Marky in the South Mix.
Welcome to another episode of Jimmy's World. I'm sitting here with Alaya, AOD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been 265 days since the last time I seen Jimmy's World on air. So, I had to tell you, let's do it.
Actually, what happened is we were asked if we were going to be streaming the fight, and I said, "Well, hell, let me see if the mics work." So we were testing out some of the equipment, and new comments will display here, and also testing out ourselves. But yeah, one thing about you is that you're very consistent. You're always.
Yes, sir.
I mean, hell, it's almost annoying, but I guess you have to be to be a
Yes,
champion.
sir. That's what you have to do to be the best.
So, well, I'm not as consistent as you are when it comes to working out and all that. But you kept saying, "Hey, when are you guys gonna get back together and do a show?" So we called some of the guys. Everyone's doing their thing. But yeah, it's been exactly 265 days since we were on air last. And so, with that being said, I started asking myself, am I better than I was 265 days ago? I mean, are you, or do you feel better today than 265 days ago?
Honestly, I do. I mean, within this time, I had my pro debut, and that was amazing. I got my win, got the ABO belt, and April 30th, ready to step back in the ring. And I think just as a person and as a boxer, I've made so much improvement. Just from my mind frame, even in boxing, my IQ, everything has gotten so much better.
So what do you attest the growth coming from?
The growth coming from? Well, I made a change in my team within the 265 days. Now I'm with Gods of Boxing. My coach, Enzo Lopez and Felix. They've just stepped up my boxing game to a different level. And then, of course, I got the best manager out here, Jimmy Rubio.
I've heard some bad things about that guy, but let's not talk about him right now. So, you've been sparring the local circuit here?
Yes, sir. I've been getting work in with Marlene and Jiffy, and also with some guys just in the gym, Alicio, Pierce, Jace, even with my own coach, Alfonso, just to keep me sharp.
How is boxing, Alfonso?
Oh my gosh, it's like a big giant tank coming at you that just never stops.
So Ukraine must be boxing Alfonso right now with the whole Russia thing.
Oh yes, for sure. On Tuesdays and Thursdays only.
Does he take it easy on you, or does he?
I mean, I have my moment. He has his moments where he gets a little rough with me. Like, I'll try to do him dirty and push his neck down, and he'll pick me up and sling me around a little bit. And he'll catch me with a good jab if he sees me dropping my hands. But he just keeps me on my toes, keeps me looking sharp.
Oh man, I'm being told that some of my captions are not what they're supposed to say. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, well, weigh-ins is what it says. Okay, whatever. Let's see. We're gonna have to fix that, but hey, that's why you do these things. So in any case, so 265 days ago, you weren't the ABO champion, and now you are.
No, sir, but now I am. I was actually still an amateur.
So how did it feel like when they say you are the winner?
Honestly, it's everything I imagined. It was the best feeling in the world, cheering for me, the lights on me, the belt in my hand. I was just so happy. It was like the smile that just wouldn't go away.
You see, I myself am a champion as well. Like I know the feeling.
You do?
So I was at the local Tubelos on Rayford, and so they have wings. It's 20 wings for $18.99 on Tuesdays.
Wow.
But they used to have what's called the ghost pepper wing,
Mhm.
If you could eat all 6 without taking a sip or vomiting or any of that stuff, you were a champion, and your picture went on the wall. And I know the feeling of being a
picture's on the wall?
champion. And not anymore,
Not
but
anymore.
I too am a champion.
All
I
right.
went. You win 6 rounds. I win 6 wings.
You actually went 2 rounds. I
Well,
finished it in the second.
oh well, I ate all 6 of my wings,
Well, that's good.
and I won. My picture's on the wall.
Well, that's good. I thought you said not no more.
Well, I mean, it was on the wall. Well, they have new owners now, and they've dressed the place up. You know, it's not like it used to be. It's actually a lot nicer. So if you're in the area, go to Tubelo's on Rayford.
To go see Jimmy's picture on the wall.
It's not on there anymore. There's no pictures on the wall. They don't do the contest anymore. But I just wanted to share with you that I know the feeling of being a champion. You know, I had the 6 wing challenge and I won.
Well, that's good for you.
It's probably the same thing, right? You know,
I don't think so. I think getting a belt might be a better feeling.
all right. Well, they don't give belts for wings. But
Yeah.
In any case, so I was looking at just a couple of things that are different now than they were 200. And guys, again, the reason for 265 is just that Aliyah came in and said, she said, in 100 days, it'll be an entire year since you've gone on. And, you know, I talked to different folks. We actually were going to have a Valentine's Day episode, and we interviewed a couple of couples, and there was actually a divorce in one of the couples. And then one of them threatened to sue the other one if they went on air. And then, I mean, but we learned so much about just relationships in general, because there's so much that I didn't know about guys. I thought sometimes I was the only one that felt a certain way.
Yeah. I remember you bringing it up.
There's because I mean, I'm talking big guys were like, man, you know, I want to feel pretty, and I was like, what do you mean?
I want to feel loved.
and so ladies, just because you know your man walks around and you think he's super tough, and you know, hey, he wants to know you care.
Hey, yeah. Sometimes the biggest ones are they're the softest ones, the biggest teddy bears.
Yeah, I did notice that was probably out of the 15 people we spoke to, every guy had the same thing to say, that over time they always had to initiate, you know, whether it be the date night, or they had to initiate whether it be the Sunday fun day that people that married couples have or whatever. And they said, you know, they were tired of being one that always had to remind the other that you know, that there was a physical relationship there. And
yeah.
So that was something that we learned that was different.
And I just feel like as you get older and stuff, like you just got to keep the spark going, you know, on both halves.
And you say this from your 20 years of
I don't know. I'm just saying from seeing older people go through relationship problems.
So you know, with that being said, 265 days ago, you know, gas was $2.79.
Yes, sir.
And right now it's $4.85.
Oof.
And so, I mean, does that change the dating dynamic? Does that change how often you go?
I think it does.
Like, hey, if I show up, we're getting it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I've been seeing tons of memes about that.
Oh man, so I wonder if truck prices are going to go down, and car prices will go up. I know for a while there,
like the little Hondas, the prices go up since they're gas savers.
Well, I mean, not all Hondas. You know, I told you the Honda story.
Oh yeah, stickers.
Yeah, so for those of you watching, for all two of you, I will tell you that Honda Civic, if you have a sticker that says NOS, 10 horsepower. If you have one that says, like, I don't know, HPM or something, 10 more horsepower. So you actually, you know, the more stickers, it makes your car faster. It's kind of like a guy with tattoos. You know, it makes him stronger.
Yeah.
That's why I got all these, but it didn't work on me. I think it was the ink that was wrong.
What did you say? The guy with the tattoo at the bar, he gets in a fight and then he ends up getting beat up or something like that?
Yeah, it's usually how it works.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to the bar. I actually stay home. But yeah, man. So I was actually I'm trying to see if I can pull up where the chat comes up, because I wanted to actually have like people be able to ask like a question or two, and then us, you know, let me see if it pops up.
What about you in your 265 days? Have you noticed self-growth, or how's it been for you?
I think that one of the positive things is I want to say it's been about 4 months now or 5 that you know, I just completely quit drinking alcohol.
Wow.
It was and what I really like is that people are more in tune with not being rude, I guess, because I go places and sometimes folks would say, hey, do you why aren't you drinking and what happened, and
Because they're used to seeing you drink.
yeah, and now when I go out somewhere, it's like, oh no, I'm good. I'm just and I did it more so for a physical fitness.
Yeah.
Deal.
How do you feel?
I feel that I wish I would have known that if I stopped drinking beer, I'd lose the belly fat. I wish I would have known that a long time ago. I feel a lot better. My skin is cleaned up.
Not so sluggish, I bet.
Yeah. That and kind of like that initial
Start
oomph,
boost.
it's there. Whereas I remember I would say, oh no, I don't get hangovers, but still I would feel a little sluggish in the mornings.
Yeah, I could only imagine.
And not only that, I mean your sweat's different, and
And I bet you're like more aware and you see everything that's going on too.
and you save money.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, wow. So let's say if gas went up, I imagine the truck taking the beer is going to go up. So I imagine, one of those tankers or whatever, one of those 20-ounce beers are probably a solid $8 nowadays. And I'm battling a cold. So that's one thing that I think everybody just stays sick nowadays.
Yes.
It's either COVID or the flu or something.
A little runny nose, or especially with the weather changing so much, it goes from cold to hot to warm.
Well,
Just never know.
Also, I have 5 kids, so 3 of the boys go to elementary school. I think they lick the floor, and so one of them gets sick, then the other one gets sick. We literally had
a chain reaction.
We literally had just taken them to the bus, and probably 20 minutes later, the nurse is calling to go pick them up.
Oh man!
They're like, "Oh, he was coughing so much," and so
they had to send him home.
So I don't understand it. I'm a bad parent if I don't send them to school, but I'm also a bad parent if I send them to school
and they're sick
and they had a cough. And so guys, just for everyone out there, you're a bad parent in the eyes of the public, no matter what. But so just do the best you can, and as long as your kids love you, you're batting 1,000. So I actually wrote a message that said testing, and I was trying to see if the messages were able to come on there because can't post messages to some channels, learn more. Okay. So what I wanted to actually do was if someone's out there says, hey, I got a question, tell me more about this or that, because what we're actually doing tonight is I kind of want to get a feel for what the calendar will be for the show. We're going to we have some topics, but then again, what's the point in talking about something that doesn't really interest any, or doesn't really apply to or captivate the current
or
audience.
really catch the eye of people.
Because I sometimes I talk about boxing, but what if only 2 of the people that I reach are talking about boxing? When we originally started this, we wanted to have a suicide prevention for veterans, but then I said, well, I only have like out of the 600 or so friends on Facebook or whatever, I may only have 50 that are veterans, and then they're pretty happy. So
yeah, so what's the point?
Yeah, who am I actually reaching? So we were actually just gonna jump on today and just go over some of the different things. But back to I guess April 30th. You're
yes,
you're
sir.
scheduled to fight, and do you know who you're fighting?
Yes, sir. Rebecca Light. Hopefully,
she's out of California, right?
Yes, sir. Out of California. She's a little bit older than me. A little bit longer reach, a little bit taller, but no problem. I'm preparing for everything she comes with, and hopefully, I'm the main event that night in my hometown, Conroe, Texas.
So Conroe, get ready. You're
yes,
coming
sir.
home.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, so how does that feel? I know you did a lot of things in Conroe over the holidays. You were
yes.
doing the
so within
the
this 265 days, we did a toy drive actually, and that was really cool to give back to my hometown. Because I remember being that little kid on Christmas Day, waiting for your presents and stuff, and it's the best feeling when you have something. So it was the best feeling to be able to bless others.
I saw some of the faces of the mothers. They were
yes, they were worried because they were like, hopefully they have my name. Hopefully I filled it out right. Hopefully I brought my ID, my passport, whatever they needed to receive their presents.
Because if they
didn't, you didn't get your present, and it felt like it was the worst feeling to turn them away just because they were missing one piece of information.
Oh man, so I can't see it on here, but I actually got on my phone to look at something. So I got Omar Sanchez. How you doing, Omar? And Jose Milo Gamboa out of California. How you doing, man? He actually used to work with me
He did?
in the clothing industry here in Houston, but he moved out. He's actually in I think Newport Beach now in Cali. So hey, thanks for waving at us. And let me see some live chat. Go there. So I don't understand why it's not popping up here. I'm doing the chat overlay so we can read it, but it's not actually appearing here. So that's why.
Hmm.
So let me see. Read only. Huh. I'll have to figure that out. I thought I had it set up, but so I think I can still see it though on my phone. So and let me pull it up. So we got Raymond Martinez on just joined us. How you doing, Raymond?
Coach Ray.
Hey, and we always have someone barge in. It's like the best thing in the world.
You saw me?
We're on
Whoa.
mommy's phone. Yeah, and now you're on mommy's phone.
Say hi.
No, it's hi guys, get out. Yeah,
Oh man, you gotta love him, right?
yeah. So
Our surprise
so
guest.
at least you know it's reaching mommy's phone.
Here, I got the door. Our
So that was Lincoln. Always makes things more interesting.
he does. He's quite the character.
So yeah. So hey, we love you too, Raymond. So for those of you watching, the boxing world is actually real big and it's also real small. I joined it, I would say maybe 2-3 years ago, and I didn't know all the people I would meet or just the change it would make in me. I I would say that it did teach me that no matter what I was doing in business or in work, if you didn't sweat, you weren't gonna,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't gonna work, man.
One thing one coach told me, he was like, in boxing is the only sport that you really get you get what you put in, like just as like if you don't work hard, you'll notice that in the ring, what you're slacking in for
I've
sure.
noticed a lot of fighters whenever they get a belt and then they're defending the belt. Sometimes they lose it and they say, "Oh, I didn't put that much."
Yeah,
work
put the
out."
effort because they got comfortable.
They were celebrating a little too much or what have you.
Which happens.
So again, man, I cannot fix this.
What captions?
Yeah.
Mm.
And so it's kind of tough to respond to some of this stuff because I'm getting text messages. But hey, if you can, type it in the actual deal there because that's where I can actually read it. But in any case, so 200. So we have 100 days to make things better than we did the last time. I think it was we were at the last event and
in Galveston, right?
Yeah, and there was, I think we had 6 people or so on the as reporting and whatnot, and I can't sit there and tell you that I was 100% happy with the just the boxing acumen that the team had.
Oh yes,
myself included.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I went to the Nationals and I was lucky enough to report next to David Austin, and just to hear the level of
the IQ
commentary,
and
it was a disservice to the fighters.
Yeah, I could only imagine because I was actually out there for like 2 or 3 fights commentating with the people you had out there, and they really didn't know what to say, but would kind of go off of what I would say. So I'd be like, "Ooh, look at that good jab, or that New York jab, or the hook to the body," and they would be like, kind of feed off of it and carry on with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So New York jab is actually a skinny jab. It goes between the guard.
Yeah.
People
in case I didn't know. Yeah.
So that next time you're actually watching a fight or something, then you can actually
know what a New York jab is,
because a lot of times people use these terms and it's not to exclude anyone, but I imagine at some point it's because of the origin
Hmm.
of where it came from. I imagine New York Jab came from somebody, someone out there. But just to kind of bounce around, I've been watching another show. It's called What She Said or What He Said. It's Kevin Walker. I watch him a lot.
Hmm.
He's an old neighbor of mine. He has this show where he talks a lot about men and women, the dynamic of relationships, and then he's actually now single. He's 52, and he's been going on dates.
Hmm.
And yesterday he said something that was pretty interesting. He mentioned tongue wrestling. So he said that he's in a space now where he's 52 years old. He goes out on a date, and everything he said, the lady would tongue wrestle him. Just if he said blue, she said purple.
Basically the opposite. Someone argue with.
And it was
Yeah.
because she wanted to prove she was like
Right.
a bossy
Oh.
or independent or what have you. And he said, that's not what I'm here for, and so I was wondering, is that a turnoff, for or even like as a young lady? I mean, when you go on a date, is it important to you to establish a boundary of dominance from the get go, and then especially, I mean, you could probably beat up whoever you date, but
Yeah.
but is it important for you to like draw a line in the sand and say I'm in charge, or is it more like, because I don't know, just me, I'm 38. I'm not going to sign up for a relationship where we're going into it. I know that somebody wants to be my mother,
full alpha and in
Yeah.
control. Well, I like being in control, but I also like to see where the other person's head's at, see what they're thinking, see what their motive is, see where they're going with their thoughts and stuff. So I don't mind hearing another person out and just kind of like agreeing and shaking my head,
So when we were doing the toxic show,
Hmm.
so I actually met a couple that I still want to get them on the show. We even upped the ante because we were going to do $500
Hmm.
to let us, film them and air them. But it was, I understand, because maybe they have kids or whatnot. They didn't want to, put their stuff out there. But their story I can maybe put out there, and not
Let's hear it, or not right now. You got to save it for another episode.
No, I'll briefly touch on it. It was one of them things where they mentioned to me that you know how that old saying, the truth will set you free.
Oh yes.
So I was watching their video that they sent me, like a little,
Hmm.
and it was like, no, the truth will not set you free, because they actually it was one of them things where like you bring them in and then you switch phones on them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then you immediately see who's going to be the guilty party. Because
Have you also heard that the truth hurts, right?
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing. But the
Mhm.
truth does set you free, but maybe the freedom that it gives you isn't exactly what you were expecting.
What you thought, yeah.
Because it does hurt. The truth is going to hurt, but the lies are like Band-Aids.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually fix anything. It just kind of
sets over for the moment.
It gives someone just enough to keep going a little bit longer.
Hmm.
And there was a couple that I mean, after talking to them the next morning, dudes moved out,
packed his stuff and everything.
They're talking about, selling the home.
Wow.
You name it.
And that was all just off of the truth?
It's like picking a scab.
Mm-hmm.
Once they pick the first bit, it was like an onion. They start pulling at it, more layers and more layers, and I can see where because of the time, people are together,
mm-hmm.
the betrayal just seems worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, especially when you thought that you were being told the truth for a certain amount of time when really you weren't. I could only imagine.
And so, yeah, but now I'm thinking of bringing at least one of them in,
mm-hmm.
and saying like, hey, are you better now than before?
Tell your story.
Is there happiness after? Mm-hmm. Because
is the grass greener?
Because what I noticed was the couple would both, on social media put this life of like, I'm happier now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, screw him, I'm doing this, and he'd be like, well, screw her, I'm doing this. But so I reached out, and at least the guy I know, mm-hmm. I was like, hey, dude, I know you're not happy. Yeah. I know you for a long time. You're not happy right now. You're making that up, and you're breaking your kids' hearts because when there's kids involved, you don't want to actually, cheating on mom, like cheating on them.
I actually think I know the guy you're speaking about. And yeah, I seen a few things he had posted, and he tried to make it seem like he was all happy and like living his best life, but I know the guy personally too, and honestly, I don't think he was happy at all. He was just trying to throw it in her face somewhat, like I'm okay, but really deep down inside, he wasn't.
Yeah, and there was another guy that something similar, but he wanted to oust, like, hey, I'm the good one here, not you. But then, she had receipts too. So it's one of those things where that toxic show. I hope someday I can do it, but then again, I don't, because I feel like trying to find out. Because originally, the reason we wanted to do it was, I believe that there's some people that either suffer from rejection issues from early on as a kid, like get picked last for kickball,
Yeah.
to prom,
Or you had to be the best to be picked or something like that.
or more so just you were never chosen to be like team captain, or if I don't know, Sally,
Yeah.
never picked you.
You're basically always last.
Yeah, and so I feel that there's a lot of folks that maybe, and that's also why in this age of social media, people portray the life I think they wanted to have.
Yeah.
And when it may not be it, they very well could, be eating frozen dinners every night, watching reruns. But when you look at them, you think they
Perfect. Have it all together.
they have
happy.
Everyone's fought, and then it's almost like
It's almost like a mask, you could say, or no?
It's a facade that I believe they're more concerned with how many likes they have than their credit score,
Yeah.
than their teeth, than how much gas is in their car, and I think it's a sickness.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same here.
And I was one that just a little while back, I probably received 30 or 40. Hey, bro, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? And guys were just like, you went online and you're saying, hey man, I took a L, and there's some people probably laughing at you right now. And I said, I don't move, I don't walk for the hectares. Like I think that in my lifetime, I've learned to know who's worth performing for and who isn't. And so I just thought that if there was, because I've heard it where some guys are like, oh, you're lucky, you had a great home, you had a great mama, great daddy, blah blah blah.
But they don't know everything. And
they don't need.
They don't know the whole story.
And
yeah,
they don't need to. I just
let them think what they want.
And because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. All right, getting your belt doesn't make it any better. Your belt isn't any more important if mommy loved you or she didn't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's still gonna be.
It's still my belt. Yeah,
it's still a victory against a certain person on a certain night. That's it. It doesn't make winning a war any better if you came from a troubled home or not. You either y'all won or y'all didn't. It's so back to I would hear that stuff like, oh, you're lucky, this and that, and I was like, whatever. But at the same time, I did hear from some vets like, hey man, I on my birthday actually, I had a guy call me and say he wanted when he was calling to say goodbye. He was going to take his life.
Wow. And
it's the second time he's called me.
Wow.
And so luckily this time I actually had his father and his brother's information. So I kept him on the phone. We called them. It took about an hour and a half for them to get to his house. And they actually put him in against his will. They put him in a hospital, and he got through it.
Yeah, well, that's really good that he did.
And but his biggest complaint to me wasn't that his wife left him. It was, it's easy for you to tell me that I got plenty to live for. He said, you have a business, you have friends, you have a pretty family, you have it all.
Yeah, just listing it all out.
Yeah. And he
why?
Says,
yeah.
He goes, what do I have? What do I have? I'm like, bro, I struggle every single day. I don't know if the decision I made is the right one or the wrong one. And if I made the wrong one, there's 20 plus people that depend on if I lose, they lose
as well.
if they, but as happy as I am every time someone buys a home or buys a new car that's in my team,
Hmm.
I worry because that's not just them, having to make those notes. I have to make sure I make my notes to them so that they can
So they could pay for it and feed the family and everything else. So
in the
I could just imagine the pressure you feel.
and a lot of the times, heck, I would rather not even. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take today off, but I can't. And so it's a different pressure, but it's still a pressure nonetheless.
Hmm.
And so with that being said, I was like, hey man, I'm not here to make someone be like, oh, like
Feel
give myself
down,
or give myself any kind of praise. It was more
Mhm.
so if I reached one person who didn't like their situation because they were maybe wishing that their situation was similar to mine, I was reaching out to them.
Yeah.
Because I said, if you feel like you don't want to keep going, bro, we all lose. We all
We all go through hard times.
It doesn't
We're
matter.
human.
It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like there's, I guarantee you that for every, for every person that you think is doing great, like I heard a story once for the prettiest girl, you see her walking by, I guarantee there's a guy sick of her.
Yeah.
And it might be the guy she loves, and
Mhm.
then he's just sick of her, and then that breaks her heart,
Mhm.
And so in any case, I was to this day, I've been getting calls like, hey man, bro, you good? You shouldn't go out there and talk about L's.
Mhm.
And I was like, why not? I mean, everybody posts the bottle of Dom Perignon, and whether it's empty and full of water or not, they do
post
that.
it.
And I'm like, what's so great about just showing the great parts
The
of your life?
success. Because on your way to success, you take a whole bunch of L's just to get to success. And that's something that I've had to learn as a fighter, because I used to think, like, when it would come to sparring and the workouts and stuff, that I couldn't have a bad day. But someone once told me, make your worst day someone's best. So even though sometimes I might lose in sparring and I might feel bad, I just keep my head up and look for my improvements that I could make. Because when I used to lose in sparring, I used to feel defeated. I would hear someone's opinion that was bad about me, like say I wasn't fast enough, or I'm not hitting hard enough, or I'm not loose on my legs, or I'm fighting like an amateur. It used to bug me. But then I was like, they don't know the fight that I'm putting in. They don't know all the work that comes in between it. And like I said, make your worst day somebody's best day.
And see, I'm glad you touched on that, because I actually remember being a Monday morning quarterback and saying, "Oh man, did you see that person? They sucked. They did this, they did that, or they didn't do this." But come to find out, a lot of times you boxers will go in there and you have a game plan. I'm gonna work on this today.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it takes discipline to take a bunch of punches that you could have blocked and responded to, but you're working on X. You're not working on anything else. You're working on X. And some people just work on their, I'm going to fight off my back foot today, or I'm going to just work on my defense.
Some people are so quick to have opinions, like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? But they don't know the game plan.
Yeah. And so that's, and so I guess it goes back in line with like my thing where I was, I was like, hey man, I took an L. I wish things would have gone better, but they didn't. And, everybody's susceptible to a loss, and
for sure.
And as long as everyone's aware that just because you have a bad day in the gym or you have a bad day in life does not change the person you are, or the commitments you make or the things that you're gonna do. It might postpone some.
Yeah, and like again, someone once told me, just because you're sad right now or feel depressed right now, who knows how you'll feel in an hour or so. Your day could be better, it
or
could
in
be
100
worse,
days. In 100 days,
or in 100 days.
Yeah, so
anything could change.
So one of the things is that 265 days we haven't been on the air, and I wanted to actually get some feedback from folks like, hey, what are you going to be doing in the next 100 days? Are you going to, right now you have an opportunity to, it's been a year for, at least for in Jimmy's World, it's been a year. It's going to be a year and 100 days. And myself speaking, I don't drink no more. That was been about 4 or 5 months. It put me more in tune to myself, where I notice more things around me. I don't laugh at everything as I used to. I'm not grumpy, but in any case, I'm more aware of
life,
of things that are going. And so for that, I'm happy. Physically, I think it's done me well.
I know. I noticed you're looking a bit more stronger Like I could see some cuts over there.
Oh, it's this new line of shirts that were coming out. It's called God's Gear.
God's gear.
Yeah, it,
We need me one of those shirts.
yeah. If we could ever get them across the waters, they're coming from Guangzhou.
Oh wow.
They actually compress your fat and make you look strong.
Look strong.
Yeah.
So
So,
you're not
when I take it off, it's gonna just
all go away. It's
No.
all the shirt.
No, but a lot of it just has to do with the people you surround yourself with. I always, when I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I remember I used to just follow guys that had their own business,
hmm
because if you follow a bunch of employees, they're going to tell you why you shouldn't do it,
hmm
or why they haven't done it, or why it's a bad idea. But you follow a bunch of guys that are already doing it, they'll tell you why it's the best thing they ever did.
Mhm.
And then they might tell you some of the struggles they've had, but they won't actually.
Talk you out of it.
Yeah, they'll actually
Mhm.
talk you into it. And so hanging around a bunch of gym rats, you
become one somewhat.
It
Like,
you kind of feel guilty if you
Yeah.
don't. You're like, oh man, I need to work.
You're like,
out
man, I'm the weakest link. I need to
yeah,
get stronger.
yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
and so I think you, Alfonso, which like, but I mean, hell, Gabriel and all, he
Yeah.
he would. I don't know how old he is. He's probably a relic.
You are who you hang with, right?
But that these guys would they sweat every day. They get a little workout in, and honestly, it's almost like a therapeutic space.
I know.
You put your music on, and then you start to pump, and a lot of things go away, and
You walk out of there feeling better, somewhat in a
Yeah.
weird way, right?
yeah. Sometimes my hands would tremble, done, but I'd be like, oh, today,
I know.
because I went on TikTok and I found the rocks workout, and if you
How was that?
it was horrible. I think I shared my notes with you guys once. I said halfway through I put I quit. I couldn't even hold the weights.
Your arms were dead, I bet.
I couldn't hold the weights anymore.
Oh.
So I think Sydney and you guys did the leg one.
Yes, we did the leg one. I remember walking out the gym and my legs, they felt like jelly. Like literally, they were shaking.
Oh no. Yeah. He's something else. And if you want to test yourself, once.
I actually told Sydney, I was like, look, stop right here and I'm gonna go play basketball. I kind of just sat at the court for a little bit and let my leg recover.
So in any case, I just wanted to go on today. How long have we been on?
42 minutes, I believe, or 43.
Oh, 37.
Oh,
so, all right. So 7 more than I wanted. So I just wanted to
7
jump
more.
on and test out, put the dust off of this stuff. And so, we're going to actually announce the next time we're going to be on. Today was more of a just, let's get on and just kind of talk about, because I mean, it's 265 days that we were last on. So definitely wanted to, jump on and just, let everyone know we're still around. Jimmy's World is going to, we want to try to keep this time, but with different commitments, it's sometimes difficult, but
Mhm.
I actually, wanted to actually have you on more steady.
Yes, sir.
Because the time that
I would love that, to be honest.
because I think there's a message that you can give a lot of females that I've, that just through adversity, there's always a and through hard work, you can always overcome things. And
Yeah.
so that's something that I can't do. I think there's a lot of similarities in the upbringing and different things that people share in their stories. But what I don't want to do is turn this into a boxing show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But because when we were coming on, there was a lot of events going on about boxing. That's why there's a lot of boxing.
Mhm.
So-
And a lot of interviewing boxers. I remember, I think you had like 4, maybe 3
Yeah.
other boxers on your show.
Yeah, and it
If
was
I'm
because
correct.
there were it was coming up, and here April 30th there's going to be an event.
Will we see y'all April 30th at the El Tigre show?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
We have been asked to televise it, and so
All right.
we're going to
See what happens.
Consider doing that,
Mhm.
and but first and foremost, it's if we can't add value to it, we're not going to do it. If we can, then we will.
All right, yes, sir.
But but back to this is what I want this to be more of is if having folks on here that can maybe inspire the next guy to go forward with something. There's a couple business owners that I talked to that might be in the line of business that you might want to get into. There's a lot of folks that right now are beating themselves up because of crypto, and there's some that it's a great thing, and then there's so with all that, there's guys that sold crypto when it was like 60 grand a piece, and then right now it's took a big dump, and then but gold's at an all time high, and so there's 6 one way, half a dozen another, and so we just wanted to get on here and then touch base with you guys and see what what's to come, and just kind of welcome you on. Elia,
Well, thank
A&D.
you. It was an honor to be on, and I look forward to being on here more often. I would love to. I have fun. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy just being on air.
I just like hearing my voice on the headphones. It
I like
sounds
hearing my
different.
voice too. It sounds cool.
So, all right, guys. So for the one or the two in attendance, we
Thank
Well-
y'all for being on.
yeah, we're gonna actually announce the next time we're gonna be on, and I'm thinking we're gonna do like usually Thursdays at 8 is what I would like to do. I don't want to do Fridays because Friday kind of gets into like your personal time, your daytime, and so if there's a hot topic you want us to cover or
Or
look
any
into,
questions?
yeah, just shoot them over to us, and we'd love to look into it, and perhaps bring you on or just look into it and talk about it. So, in any case, thanks for being on, and that is Jimmy's World.